Hey guys, welcome to Be Original with Isley Creative,
where we discuss all things marketing. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Well, welcome everybody. This is this is going to be fun. So this is kind of a new thing that we're doing. It's a podcast, video blog. What's the other one? A blog post, and then we're doing a series of other things that just happen, and we're really excited to bring this to you guys. So I'm here today. Again, my name is OJ. I am the co-founder of Isley Creative, and your name is?
Christian. I'm Christian.
Hi, Christian.
I'm his business partner.
Yeah, so I think to start off, we are at a local restaurant called Waterfront Warehouse. We're really excited to be here. Dino, the owner of the place, is a really good friend of mine. He does an amazing job with his restaurants. They look beautiful. As you can see in front of us, the food here is ridiculous, and we're really excited about that. Christian, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an old-fashioned with whiskey.
And I'm drinking Tito's. So, cheers to you guys. Kind of the format that we're going to follow throughout this is our amazing organic social
media manager.
There you go, our organic social media manager. Sounds good. She also does our writes some of our blogs. So our goal is to go through some of this stuff, talk a little bit about some of the main points of it, kind of get some feedback from you guys as viewers throughout the month leading up to the next post. So that's kind of the format today. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things your social media marketing strategy needs for 2018. So the first thing that she talks about is Facebook ads, right? Obviously, with Isley Creative, one of our primary focuses is content for social media, and then developing all the back end and the execution for those that creative, right? So, I mean, obviously, we've seen there's been a huge transition now into what paid social is today, right? And one of the things that we talk about all the time, and we tell our clients all the time, is that, you know, Facebook, Instagram, like they literally are almost like a living organism. They're always evolving. There's always things changing. So it's really hard to stay up on top of that stuff, but we have to do as business owners, right? And because we're marketers, obviously we tend to spend a lot more time on it, but you have to stay on top of this stuff, putting money behind the ads and things like that. You know, what do you think? What do you think people should be doing as far as paid social? Do you have an idea, more so towards the creative stuff that is involved with that?
Well, I think to start, the difference between, there's a lot of terminology that gets thrown around, organic social and paid social, and just breaking it down, organic is definitely, it's things that you don't pay for, it's ads that you don't pay for, it's posts that you post, it's reaching the audience that already likes you, trying to get more likes without paying for advertising space. So what we've noticed is that over the last couple of years, Facebook's algorithm has changed so much to where the actual attention that you're getting is a very low percentage of the people that even like your page.
Sure.
Or are following you in any way. So what we've come to realize is that it's really hard for a business or an organization to gain any social media success without going into the paid social platform. And so the nice thing about it is that Facebook, they've given us an awesome platform to be able to target down to the exact person and personify the person that will be purchasing or using their services or whatever. And I think that is invaluable in itself. The marketing has changed from paying for TV spots and billboards and casting a net and hoping to get 2 to 5% of that return back. And now we have an opportunity to cast that net to people that are most likely to use it.
Right. I think the thing that we talk, I mean, even when we're talking to clients in the initial stages of us meeting them, we're always talking about what avenues of advertising they're currently using. You know, whether it's billboards, like you said, TV commercials. I mean, print ads are still a thing, right? Newspaper ads, things like that. And we're just saying, like, instead of spending whatever dollar amount that is, use that dollar amount and make it work harder for you, because ultimately that's our goal, right? We want to be able to zero in on the person that's going to make the buying decision every time.
Yeah.
And social media, Facebook specifically, and Instagram have given us the ability to do that without having to spend a ton of money, which is amazing. And then on top of that, Google AdWords back in its heyday, you would spend this kind of money. It's very small amounts of money to get in front of the right people as they're typing in, search words. And if you want to be the top at, French fries, you had to pay to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
And now those dollar amounts have increased incrementally over the last how many years it's been. And social is now starting at that very small point where we can actually get in front of people for, the least amount of money, which I think is great. Right. So that's good. What do you think about the creative aspect of it? That when we're talking about paying to get in front of people, what types of things are they putting in front of people, or should they be paying to put in front of people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, creative is constantly changing. We have so much stuff just being thrown in our faces all the time, and one of the tools that Facebook has released is Dynamic Creative, which is basically a place where you can kind of A/B and test different things. And so the goal of it is that you can input different types of content, and it'll swap the copy, it'll swap the images, it'll do all sorts of things and kind of test the market and see what is most attractive to people. So I think for us, our biggest thing is that we know that the content that we're creating needs to be different. It needs to be original. It needs to stand out when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed. It needs to be something that is eye-catching as opposed to everything else. I mean, there's a lot of great videos out there. There's a lot of great photos out there. But what is, when you're using stock images that are really high quality professional photos, and you're putting those out there, but they're not original to your company, what sets that photo apart from anything else that's out there? So it's nice to have that tool that Facebook offers, but then also going to that next level. And what we do is we start to find the personality of our companies, that our clients and the people we partner with, and we start to understand their culture, and we start to say, okay, this is kind of the look that your company would have. This is kind of the feel that your company would have. And this is how we can make it look pretty and stand out. So
yeah, and it's not only just like what your company looks like, it's also then taking into consideration the audience that you're paying to get in front of, right? Like That's a big thing too. We don't market to 50-year-old males the same that we would advertise to 18-year-old females. It just doesn't work that way, right?
No Hello Kitty.
No Hello Kitty. Exactly. So it just doesn't work that way. So that's great. Like with paid social, I think one of the things that, if you guys have questions about paid social specifically, obviously leave a comment. We'll help us in any way that we can. But also within the actual blog, there's a link that will take you to some additional information about how paid social works, right? One of the next things on here is interesting is LinkedIn. She talks a little bit about how LinkedIn has progressed over the last 20 years, and we've spent so much time looking at LinkedIn as more of a network tool, a professional networking tool, right? So it's more like, I need a job, where do I go find a job, or connecting with people in similar fields, things like that. But they've come a long way. I mean, and now they're getting to a point where they're actually being, competitive with, even their ad platform, and now with video ability right in the app is another great tool. You and I have talked about this in the past, how valuable, the B2B type of service-based industry stuff that we see on a regular basis is always more difficult to map out an advertising plan, a marketing plan, because of the nature of that beast. It's just a longer sales cycle. All of those things come into effect, right?
Yeah.
But LinkedIn has given us the opportunity to be able to say, hey, this is a great platform for us to be able to communicate with the people. Same thing, building demographics and all that kind of stuff. That's been my experience.
I think LinkedIn's valuable, and all of this comes down to what your marketing objectives are on a regular basis. And LinkedIn specifically is valuable for a B2B business, but also for recruiting. I mean, that's a huge part of it. And
Sure.
LinkedIn's become the tool for recruiting in a huge way. And that all comes back down to content. Now that you can put different types of content out on LinkedIn, it's easier to say, okay, this is our company culture, and these are the types of people we're looking for. And you can put that out there. It's the same thing with you trying to find business partnerships where businesses work together. This is the type of business we are. We're looking for partners in this area, whatever.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn has become that tool for professional connection. It's still networking, but at the same time, you can turn that into sales in the long run.
Yeah. The next thing on this list is sharing videos, right? So I think the idea is like what we're doing here is a perfect example, right? So you can read the blog, you can see the video, you can hear the podcast, you can do this, you can do that. But also when it comes to doing video content, you know, whether it's ads or just organic social stuff that you're doing on a regular basis, your network, the idea is that it's under your company name. The video is you personally go in there, you share that video, your group of friends shares that video, and you kind of share it to all your platforms. You use a system like Hootsuite or Buffer, like we use, to post to all of your social media platforms at one time. It's just doing those extra things that ensure that they're getting in front of more people than just the paid people or just your organic people, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, video content in general is still the most valuable content you can put out there on a regular basis, especially if it's done right. And that's the big thing, is that a lot of people are just cranking out videos and trying to blast them all over the internet. But the reality is, if that video wasn't done well or right in the creative standpoint, in the messaging standpoint, whatever it is, whether it's a infographic based video or it's this type of video, if it's done right in the sense of your content is where it needs to be, your imagery is where it needs to be, it's attractive to people, then people will watch it, you know. And that's the key to it, is that the video creates the hook that brings you to the valuable side of things in your business. And when you use anything else, it's still effective. Photos are effective, infographics on their own is effective in its own way. But video is something engaging. It's when you're scrolling through your feed and there's something that catches your eye, to stop and at least look at it. You know, sometimes, like now people scroll through, they might not watch the whole thing, they might not turn the sound on, they might be at work or whatever. Video is so important when you put it, you know, now we're in an age where you kind of have to caption everything, right? So that people can stop scrolling and read what you're saying. But what's the thing that causes them to stop scrolling? It's the captive thumbnail or image of the video.
Yeah.
That makes you stop.
Right. I mean, we say it all. We talk about it all the time. Like, if we're not hooking your customer within the first 2 seconds of that video, you're not going to stop them from scrolling right over it. That's the hardest part, right? And creating content like that, you know, every single time is tough. Like, it's a tough thing to have to live up to.
Yeah.
When we struggle with it, and our business is that. So, I mean, it's tough. Some people are going to watch it. Sometimes some people aren't. You know, we get that. Obviously, that happens. But, you know, creating content, sharing the content out is always the best.
Yeah, and not only your own content, but sharing other people's content that relates to your content.
Absolutely.
So relates to what your business does. If you find a video that is valuable to your industry, share it. It doesn't matter if it's a competitor, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as you're sharing that information.
You have this thing that you tell our clients when they come in. It's the rule of threes. Can you tell me what that rule is?
Yes, it's three posts a day on social media. It's broken down into one relating to what you're doing, one relating to your industry as a whole, and then one completely unrelated that's more of a cultural thing. That's more of this is this or whatever.
Like
we're having duck fries right now.
Right.
You know, like this is cool. So the idea is just to be able to keep people engaged in different parts of your life. You're showing authenticity, you're being transparent, you're showing your knowledge in your industry, and then you're showing what you're offering.
So that leads. The reason I asked you that is that leads us into the fourth point of this article, which is talking about raw video. So it's those times where maybe you're not doing produced pieces, right? So you're spending the time, you're doing your Instagram live, the weird like walking through the park, like hey look at me type thing, right?
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
OJ's favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. Selfie stick out. Like those are.
Is there Osmo?
Yeah, with the Osmo. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there
It's
you go.
perfect. Stuff like that, right? It's a raw video. It's doing the Instagram lives, the Facebook lives, and the things like that, right? Obviously, that part of the job of what is social media is difficult to get in the habit of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it like for instance, all the foodies out there taking picture of this as it like being disciplined enough to not eat that prior
As it comes out.
prior to taking the picture.
Yeah.
For a guy like me, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, and that all navigates your content in general. So you have produced posts like we're doing now. We have things that we put, you put the thought into, you put the time to be creative with and make it look nice and have Isaac work his magic and, all of that. But if you're bypassing the daily life, the transparency and the reality, you're just tipping the scales in the wrong way. Where you really want to be balanced and show, okay, we can do this nice produced stuff, but also this is what our daily life looks like. It's not glamorous, you know, like we meet in coffee shops and we meet in this and that and whatever we do, we're walking, you bringing your kids to school in the morning, like that's just part of life, that's part of how we operate our business. And that's stuff people want to see,
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you never really understand that. Like, it always amazes me the people that have, 100 million followers on social media, right? And you look at their social media account and it's stuff like that. Like, it amazes me that they're still like as human beings, we love to be a part. I don't know why, but we love to have a glimpse into other people's lives and what it is that's making them successful, what's driving them to do what they do, like stuff like that. So don't ever think that what you're doing on a regular basis isn't going to influence or help somebody else drive them to do something great.
Yeah, and you don't have to have all produced stuff.
No, absolutely not.
I know a lot of people their goal in life right now is to be an Instagram influencer or something like that, which is, it's cool. I mean, it's definitely useful. I think it's trailing off. I don't think people are using influencers as much as they used to. But the idea is, they spend so much time worrying about the photo they're taking or this and that, and you have to balance that. That's the whole point. Is it like, you should have some produced stuff, but you need to show what your life is actually like at the same time.
People, like we always used to say when we first started Isley, it was that human connection, right? It's that human touch to every, even if it's just sprinkled throughout your week. Mm-hmm. It's what engages people enough to want to come back and see you grow.
Yeah.
I mean, like a couple months back, started a new Instagram that's literally just me talking about my day to day. It's a daily documenting. One of my biggest, mentors is Gary Vaynerchuk, and watching him documenting every day all the time, and that's really positioned me to have to do that too, like feel like it's part of the
even
growth
when the
of who I
barbershop
am.
misses a line on your neck.
I know, that was awful. But see, that's a perfect example. Stuff like that is perfect. Like who forgets a line straight across your neck when I'm taking? Oh, it was awful. On the way to a client's place. Anyways, the last thing on here, which is really interesting, is engaging on a one-to-one level with your audience, right?
Yeah.
So Gary Vee has this thing where he talks about the $1.80 experience or something like that. I forget the actual word for it. But basically what it is it's taking $1.80 a day, right? You're going on Instagram, you're finding your hashtags, you're going on to other people's social media accounts, and you're literally just giving them your 2 cents on the photo, on the image, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You're just giving your 2 cents. You do that 40 times every day, and you'll slowly start seeing your following and people actually coming to your site and doing the same thing.
It's 90 times.
90 times. That's 80 cents.
If it's $1.80.
Right, it's $1.80. I'm pretty sure it's $1.80. Anyways, but all of that to say, engaging on a one-to-one level with your audience is always important.
Yeah.
Responding to all of your, at least within reason, obviously, right? If you've got 1 million followers, responding to all of your post comments is going to be difficult. So it's finding the ones that you can repost to quickly and doing all that stuff, right? And stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything, like customer service has become social media based.
Yeah.
And that's important. If people are tweeting at you or they're commenting on your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts or whatever it is, you need to respond. Like that's where it is. Nobody wants to call a call center anymore for customer support. They want to say, this crap doesn't work, fix it. And when they want somebody to respond and say, we're sorry it doesn't work, we will fix it. And move it along from there. But that's usually the first point of contact for somebody that is unhappy with your services or your product. Mm-hmm. It's also usually the first point of contact with somebody who loves what you do and they love your product and they're posting on there praising it, and you want to respond to that. You want to share those things. You want to want to thank people for liking what you do and what you've developed.
Absolutely.
And it's really important to be constantly responding to people on a regular basis.
Yeah, even down to auto responses on your Facebook messages, like stuff like that. Like it's 2:00 in the morning. I don't expect you to wake up and respond to an Facebook message asking about your product or service and you responding right away, right? So there's tools out there that can help them generate responses, auto responses, between the hours of, let's say, 8 p.m. and 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It still is. You're still touching them every time they come in, and figuring out a way to help them and meet their needs as potential clients, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
So, all in all, I mean that really covers the entire article. All in all, I think it's a great tool. Do you have anything to add to what we talked about today as far as social media marketing strategies for 2018?
I think the big thing is consistency, is to just go after it. Social media is always growing and changing, like we said.
Yeah. And
it's going after the people that understand it and learning from them. It's calling up companies or agencies like us that can help you with it, when their goals are business growth. And I think it's just really important to have somebody around that knows what you're doing. Doing it on your own is not necessarily possible anymore for a business. But there's always a way to start.
Sure.
And there's always things you can do, so you can start implementing these things. But it is a full-time job. It's something that you have to do consistently and regularly to see any sort of results or growth from it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's, unfortunately for the guys that are maybe a little older than we are, a little bit more behind the curve on the technology swing that's happened over the last 5 years, like that, this whole social media grasp thing is very difficult for them. So it's really trying to find that balance, right? Like, we understand not everybody's going to be able to post 3 times a day. You got to do what you can do.
We have a hard time doing it.
We have a hard time doing it.
We do it for other people. But
yeah, it's difficult. We get it. So anyways, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So 2 things. Make sure you guys like, comment, share all of those things on our post today. Go check out the blog post itself for more information. Check out the podcast and the video blog, and tell your friends, say hello. Special shout out to Waterfront Warehouse for letting us use their space. We loved it. Thank you, Dino. Thank you, staff. The staff here is amazing. The French fries, we're gonna eat some more. We're gonna drink some more. You guys have a great day. Thanks for coming out. Talk to you later. Thanks again for checking out Be Original with Isley Creative.
You're the reason we do this, so be on the lookout for more tips and advice on your marketing strategy.